It's me, Vicki Marie, and I'm accompanied by Princess Tia today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's a very sad day, isn't it, that we're waking up to with this realisation of what happened yesterday, the enormity of what happened in Southport in the UK yesterday when 2 children have died, been stabbed by someone completely randomly. From what we can gather, we don't know any motive for this attack. We still don't know much about the perpetrator, though I think it'll be a little while before we get to know the full details. So of course everything's flying around on social media. A lot of the things that people were saying yesterday, it doesn't seem that they are true, that it was a migrant who'd just come over on a boat and blah, 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 blah. That's probably not true, but we don't know, because officially we haven't been told much about the perpetrator, because he's only 17 years old. So what's the matter? I presume, his name even can't be released. I presume that's the reason. But there will come a time maybe when a judge decides that the name can be released. I would imagine his age group, his family will be have had to be contacted. We don't know if he lived with his family. We literally don't know much about the perpetrator, do we? Not yet, anyway. So we have to wait. As frustrating as it is, because we all want to know what happened, what the details are, what is this, who is this monster that's done this terrible thing that's led to the deaths of 2 children so far, and all these other children, 6 others in critical condition, 2 adults in critical condition, for absolute, what possible reason can there be to stab a child? There is no reason. There's nothing that can justify stabbing a child, because they are completely innocent, aren't they? Anyway, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Vicki. I live in mainland Spain. And that said, so at this moment in time, it's 12:08 in Spain. But as I say, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, wherever you are in the world. And I tend to do videos about true crime or anything that people will find interesting. And big news like this, this is, I think for Britain, it's caused a ricochet across the world. But I think this is the worst thing that's happened in Britain. The more I think about it, since the Dunblane tragedy, which we're going to look at in this video, because a lot of people who are younger, they won't know about the Dunblane tragedy, where children, I think it was 18 children, were killed by a gunman from the local village, who just had a grudge against the school. So we're going to be looking at that as well. Another thing we're going to be looking at in this video, because this was a video I was going to make yesterday, and then of course everything happened about Southport, and it all took over the news, is there was a lady, this lady Anita Rose, that we're going to talk about, walking her dog. Just one of those, just walking her dog, just the sort of things that people do every day early in the morning, walking her dog up near Cambridgeshire where she lived. And inexplicably, we still don't know the details of what happened to her. Anyway, she was found very seriously injured. And then she was admitted to hospital. Unfortunately, she's died. So this is a murder inquiry now. But someone has been arrested on suspicion of murder, then released, then, suspicion of assault, I think it was, first of all, then released, then arrested again for suspicion of murder. This person is on bail. So this lady, Anita Rose, has died. And the person who's, was arrested on suspicion of killing her is out on bail. So it's very important that I do this video, because I want anyone who's in that area, especially women, if you live in that area, you've got to be very careful when you're walking your dogs, because this person is at large. I can't believe it. This woman is dead. Anita Rose is dead and the person who's thought to have done it to her is out on bail. I'm like angry about that as well. You know, I feel like I just get angry about a lot of things. If I'm not crying about things, I'm getting angry about things. Anyway, but first of all, I want to just thank everyone who watches my videos. If you enjoy the content, please think about subscribing and leaving your DNA on the like button. Press the like button, please. Those are completely free ways you can help out my channel if you want to see more videos from the Vicki Marie Chats channel. Also, I want to make a special thanks to my members. So tonight is Tuesday night, and we will be having a special exclusive members live for the Let's Chat, for the Carry On Chatting level of my membership. Membership is only $4.99 a month, and we have 2 members lives, exclusive members lives a week, and tonight is one of them. And I can guess we may well be talking about the Southport stabbings. We have to see what transpires, because the thing is, we have to see will any more information come out today. I'm hoping that the information that does come out today won't be information like any more children or the 2 adults that protected the children have died. I hope it'll be good news. The information comes out today that they're maybe now in a stable condition rather than critical. We want some good news to come out today from this horror show that happened yesterday, just unbelievably. Also, I want to thank anyone who's bought me a Ko-fi or sent me a super or contributed to my channel in any way. Anyone who's joined in the chat, left a nice message. Please be balanced in your messages that you leave. Don't forget, we don't know the exact details of this person yet. Yesterday, there were so many false things flying around social media. And, you know, some of these things, they're designed to whip up anger between people and hatred between people. You know, really, for most normal people, the first thing people will think about when they hear about a case like this is, oh my God, those poor children and their families. Not, oh my God, stop the boats, before you even know who it is, what the circumstances are. You know, you've got to keep a level head with these things. Things happen, and if it does, I think it's pretty much certain now, it's not a migrant, or at least a recent migrant. It's someone who's born in Britain, whose parents are of Rwandan descent, which of course is where we wanted to send all the migrants to under the Tory government. You know, in Rwanda they had a terrible civil war, didn't they, not long ago? Well, say not long ago, maybe 20 years ago. And maybe that's why this person's parents came to the UK. We don't know. I don't even know that that's true yet. This is what the Telegraph is reporting. You presume that the Telegraph would not report it unless it was true, but you know, until we get official confirmation from the police, we have to keep a balanced judgment and wait until we get all the facts. So, yes, so thank you. Anyway, obviously anyone can put their views on my channel, but I don't appreciate racism or unfounded accusations against people or types of people, you know, unfounded. I just, you know, it's just not acceptable, because it does incite violence, it incites hatred. I don't like things like that. So there's enough hate in this world that I don't really want to engender any more of it on my channel. You know, I'm sure there's lots of channels you can go on and you'll get a lot of hate. People revel in it. I've seen it, but not here, please. Okay, so let me just say hello to everyone, and then we'll get started with the actual video. I hope you're all well. I hope you all slept okay. I did sleep okay, which I was surprised, but I could not stop thinking about this. And when anytime I woke up in the night, you know, I was on the Sky News or on the news in general, seeing if there'd been any developments. The thing that I'm just absolutely dreading is hearing that any more of those children have died. This is my fear. Just hope, please God, that the rest of them pull through. It's bad enough 2 children have been, have lost their lives and, not had a chance to have a life, really. So we do, just pray that all the other people that were injured in this attack do pull through. Okay, so hi David, hi Kelly, hi Mystery, hi Jean. Oh, Mystery, you live in that village. What's the general feeling there, do you think? Because it's, do you mean the village where it actually happened, or in Southport there, or in the village where the guy supposedly came from? Hi, Shelley. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's just as I know there's something flashing. Oh, anyway, never mind. No, he's definitely not white. I think he's definitely not white because, as you say, I think if he had a name like, John Smith, I think they definitely would have announced. Well, say that. I mean, he's only 17, remember? So, he's underage. So maybe they wouldn't. But I don't, from what I can gather, his parents are from Rwanda, and but he was born in Cardiff. Anyway, we're going to look at that. Hi, Peter. No, it was. No, it wasn't, Peter. It wasn't. Where's your evidence, Peter? A reliable source on Twitter. I've seen that as well, but. I think that anyway, we'll find out, but I have not seen any official confirmation of that. I've seen a thing on Twitter, some person putting all sorts of things on there, but no evidence. Sorry, I'm not having that. Till I get the evidence, I'm not accepting it. Hi, Heather. Yeah, it's a fake, Peter. People are so desperate to believe that this is the truth because they want it to be that. They just, oh yeah, this must be true. It's not true. It's not true. Hi, Nicola. Hi, Pauline. So who lives just up the road from you, Mystery? Oh, are you talking about the dog walker? Sorry, I'm not sure if you're talking. Sorry, Mystery, I'm not sure if you're talking about the dog walker or the Southport incident. Yeah, that's the dog walker. Yeah. Hi, Bertan. There's a lot of bad news. I am going to start with a little bit of good news, though, when I get through the hellos. Hi, Mello. Hi, Tina. Hi, Jojo. And yeah, really what I'd like to do, instead of concentrating on who the guy is or who he isn't, which until we get official confirmation, we don't know, and all that on Twitter, that is definitely not true. That is definitely fake news, that about the alley, whatever. Let's concentrate, put all our energy, instead of hating on people that we don't even know who they are yet, let's put all our energy into praying that these, a lot of people haven't even mentioned the children. It's just like, oh, the guy's a migrant, or this, that, all the hate towards migrants. Don't even mention the children. Oh, I hope the children survive, or prayers for the family. Let's concentrate on that. On my channel, I'm going to concentrate on that. And then when we find out all the full details, then if we want to give any hate or whatever, then we can start with the hate. But we're going to start hating the person who did it, not some fantasy person that someone on Twitter is saying that did it. Okay, so first thing I want to say before I start looking at either of the cases, the poor woman who's been killed while she was just simply walking her dog by someone, as far as I can see, is not an immigrant, funnily enough, is that until we start, before we start looking at that, all the updates on the Southport murders, I just want to say in the original title to this video, there was a little girl, a little 6-year-old girl went missing in London yesterday, and it was all over the news, the last CCTV of her, and that didn't look, you know, that looked like quite scary because she'd been missing for over a day, I think. Anyway, she's been found and she's okay. So we've got some good news to start with. So the little 6-year-old girl went missing in Greenwich, London yesterday. I'm not going to show her or the name or anything because now she's been found and they need the privacy. That's how it is, isn't it, with missing persons, especially missing children. You know, we have to look at the last CCTV, look at pictures of him, know something about their family, etc., and their name and where they went missing. But once they're found and they're safe and well, you know, really it's a bit of an invasion of privacy then. So who knows what happened there? I don't know, you know, why she was wandering around at 6 years old on her own. I don't know. So, but she's been found and she's okay. So that's some good news to start off the video with. Okay, so where we're going to start, I think we will start by looking at the Southport, just updates in Southport, because as time goes on, oh my gosh, so I've got the TV, if I keep looking over there, it's because I've got the TV on over there just in case some news comes through. So let's have a look at what we're going to. Let me just sum up what happened yesterday. I don't think there's many of you don't know what happened yesterday, but of course, this guy, whoever he is, let's have a look. There's a video emerged of him outside his home. So he lives in a house, not in a migrant hotel. And there's a video emerged of him. Or I say a video that's emerged of him. Again, we've got to be careful because, you know, none of this has been confirmed officially, but this has emerged. This video is supposed to be him pacing up and down outside his home. Here in this green hoodie, and he's got a COVID mask on. So is this his house or this one his house? A couple of cars outside in the driveway. But it's obviously not a migrant hotel. But this seems to be where he lived, in Banks, near Southport, about 15 minutes away. I still am like completely confounded by why he went specifically to that place. I mean, did he Google like children's events today and, you know, near me? Children's event, you know, was he just thinking, oh, I'm going to find somewhere where there's a load of children and Google that and then find this Taylor Swift event and go there because it was only 15 minutes up the road? You know, why did he go there to do it? Why not anywhere else? Or did he, you know, was it just a coincidence? Did he just get in a taxi and see the event? You know, this is what we don't know. But anyway, this CCTV or doorbell camera was captured of him outside his home. I mean, now bear in mind, I'm saying it's him, but of course it's not been confirmed. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Of the suspect, or what's alleged to be the suspect. And you'll see he's just walking around in circles. Look. Is he waiting for his taxi? What, you know, what, this is the police then arriving later. So within 2 hours, of course, then the incident happened. 2 hours later, the police arrive and started searching the house. Well, it looks like a normal family house to me. With the cars parked outside and a sky dish, etc. Were his parents in there? who was he living with in this house, or is that even his house? But it seems that it probably is, because otherwise why have the police gone there to search it? Let's just look again. So there's the suspect, or the alleged suspect. Is he waiting for his taxi there? Has he called a taxi and he's pacing up and down? He's got a hoodie on, he's got the COVID mask on, he's trying to hide his identity in a way. But, you know, why is he pacing up and down like that? Is he waiting for his taxi? Impatiently waiting for his taxi? Has he already decided he's going to go and do this? He's obviously got a big knife with him, you know. And why? How has he picked that place in particular to go to? That's what, to me, I would love to know the answer to. Why go there? Why not anywhere else? Why, you know, has he got some links to somebody who was at that, you know, who was there? You know, that's my question. Is I can't see that he would just pick that out of nowhere. What do you all think about that? Why he went to that particular place? Now, do you think there's anybody? It's hard to tell if there's anybody in the house. One more time we'll look at it and then I'll come back to the chat. It looks like he's waiting for the taxi there, doesn't he? That's armed police that are there. They've got all their guns and everything. So yeah, that's a bit of CCTV that's come out. Hi, Charlie. So yeah, now the next thing I want to show you, this is what hate does. You know, so we've got Andrew Tate has commented on it, which, you know, sorry, but if Andrew Tate is not a person, you know, that if anyway, we're going to see what Andrew Tate had to say about it all. You know, just amazing that Andrew Tate thinks he can do lectures on how to, you know, with his record on how he treats girls, maybe not children, but who knows. But, you know, what he's been charged with and accused of. But he's had a comment to make. He's fuming with the BBC because the BBC was so down on him but they're not on all these migrants, because he's obviously made this comment, made this video before he knew any details. Now, sorry, I just want to remind you. So, according to the Telegraph, the suspect was born in Cardiff. His parents are immigrants from Rwanda. Came to Rwanda in, I think it said 1996 or something like that. Can't remember. But anyway, he was born in Cardiff, and when he was 6, he was brought to live in Southport. That's what the Telegraph says. Right, let's see what Andrew Tate's got to say about it.
So an undocumented migrant decided to go into a Taylor Swift dance class today.
So straight away you say, no, an undocumented migrant. No, I think he's British, you'll find, because he was born in Britain. Just I don't like lies and misinformation. You know, people have their own views about the. I think everybody can agree that whoever did it, whether whatever he is, you know, he is like evil. The evil definitely visited Southport yesterday. The devil in the guise of that young man came to Southport. But what you have got to be careful, he wouldn't like people. He's always moaning that people talk about him and they don't know the full story. And, you know, they call him guilty before he's proven innocent. And he went straight on and did this video and said it was an undocumented migrant before he had any proof of that. You know, I don't like this. It's very inflammatory talk, because Britain already is on the edge, isn't it, really? A lot of places are. There's so much hatred in the world. You know, it's not going to take much to just inflame it.
Stabbed 6 little girls. That's right, somebody arrived in the UK on a boat. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knows where he's from. The media is, of course, hiding the fact that this is a 17-year-old male.
Well, the media weren't hiding the fact it was a 17-year-old male. And he's saying, oh, he's just come over on a boat. Do you see the danger of saying things that aren't true? Because especially someone like Andrew Tate, first of all, why is he even doing a video while he's supposed to be driving? If that's not dangerous, I don't know what is. But there's a danger in that, because there's going to be people attacking other people just because they're Muslims, or just because, and we don't even know that this guy is a Muslim, you know, because apparently, if he is genuinely from Rwanda, the main religion in Rwanda is Christianity. Second one is Protestants, and Islam is only 5% of the Rwandan religion.
They don't want to highlight how ridiculous it is that we allow military-age males, combatants, to flood our shores. I don't see any protests in the UK. I don't see anybody complaining. Nobody's outside of the school. Nobody's outside the police.
Well, there was a big protest on Saturday, as it happens, with Tommy Robinson, who, of course, doesn't even live in the UK, lives in Spain, and he travels on an Irish passport.
The soul of the Western man is so broken that when the invaders slaughter your daughters, you do absolutely fucking nothing. And as to the BBC, well, they made an article 3 days ago saying Andrew Tate is dangerous to women for his toxic masculinity. I wonder if they're going to do an article about how dangerous it is to women to allow all these unchecked migrants in who stab little girls to death. Or probably not. Perhaps they want men to be so weak and so cowardly that they don't like Andrew Tate. And they're the kind of man who doesn't complain or put up any kind of fuss when little girls get killed. Toxic masculinity, as they deem it, are the kind of men who are unhappy with and find this fucking garbage unacceptable. There is no reason to let these clowns into our country. And let me explain something to you. If you will never pull the trigger, you will never have a border. If you are not prepared to use live ammunition, you're never going to have a border. You can use water cannons, you can use the Coast Guard, you can build up a fence, you can do X, Y, Z. But they're going to keep coming. And they don't give a shit about murdering any of you. Who says they're not mentally ill? Who says they're not from a war zone? Who says they're not sent by a foreign government? You have no idea who these fucking people are. And we'll be told, well, you can't pull the trigger, that's immoral. We can't protect our borders, that's immoral. I would argue it's far more immoral to let them in and kill citizens of the United Kingdom, to kill little girls. Because
well, you know, maybe he's right, but, you know, he's not exactly the most moral person in the world, because he is under investigation for sex trafficking, etc. So, I mean, I don't think really Andrew Tate's a person that we could rely on to look after our girls, do you?
those little girls never stood a fucking chance. They never stood a chance of survival. Whereas if we make it clear we're going to defend our border with deadly force, you stand a very good chance of survival. Don't try to enter the country illegally. We have airports where you can apply to enter the country. So come in like everybody else. The chance of you getting accidentally shot is fucking zero. There's no accident about it. Absolutely nothing to do with morality. And anyone with a brain needs to stand up and stop letting these fucking cowards, these loser cowards, sit there and talk about morality and talk about being the good person and letting refugees in and how important it is and giving them the moral high ground over you for wanting to protect your border. These people have no moral high ground. They are advocating for the assassination of children. They do not have moral high ground when little girls get stabbed to death. I don't know what it's going to take for Western civilization to wake the fuck up. Your enemies are not far away. It's domestic. They've been invited in by treasonous politicians. Politicians who raise your taxes and force you into debt slavery, and then won't even provide you safety.
Now, there'll be a lot of people out there who'll be listening. Look at his face. I mean, he's so full of hate and anger, isn't he? Do you know, he's just a horrible man. He really is. And how he can say, you know, how he can take the moral high ground with the sort of person that he is and all the hate and viciousness that he carries around inside him. I don't know, but I'm very lucky because my son is a sort of 20s person who can see right through him. But of course, there are a lot of young men who think he's brilliant. You know, this is what worries me. This hate, it's not the view that he takes about migrants or, you know, immigration is a really touchy subject, isn't it? It's a very controversial subject, but dealing with something with all this hate and aggression, that's what I can't be doing with. If you've got a point to make, Andrew, just say it logically and normally. Same as somebody who was in the chat before might be back in now. I don't know. I'm going to have a look. Don't come on my chat and make racist remarks because you just get thrown straight off. I've deleted your comment. If you make another comment, that's the end of it.
In return.
Go on some other.
It used to be Great Britain is a shell of its former self. It's fucking disgusting. And when I read that news today, and the fact that nobody is even complaining, and the fact the BBC won't even highlight that it's a 17-year-old illegal migrant, the worst thing about it all is before I got mad, I just rolled my eyes and I thought, just another day in England.
He's a prat. He's a complete and absolute prat. I cannot bear him. He's horrible. He's a danger to women. His views are dangerous to women and dangerous to Muslims, etc. And, you know, yeah, probably somebody just said then he found Islam while he was in prison. Well, a lot of people find Islam when they're in prison. Levi Belfield, he did as well, because they can go outside and pray or something to do with the food's better or the condition, because they have to pray so many times a day or whatever. So a lot of people find Islam when it suits them, you know, and Andrew Tate is probably one of them. Now what we're going to look at now is a much nicer response, much more measured response from Taylor Swift herself. So you can imagine Taylor Swift. It just must be awful to her because it was at a Taylor Swift workshop. So she says, the horror of yesterday's attack in Southport is washing over me continuously, and I'm just completely in shock. The loss of life and innocence, the horrendous, you know, so you've got to actually focus in on the children. Andrew Tate's focusing on hate. So many people focusing on hate for a religion or for migrants or, you know, whatever, but focus on what's actually happened to these children and their families. So the loss of life and innocence and the horrendous trauma inflicted on everyone who was there, the families and the first responders. They were just little kids at a dance class. I am at a complete loss for how to ever convey my sympathies to these families. And I think that's a lovely thing to say, but she won't know what to say. She'll want to do something, but she won't know what to do. You know, she'll feel a responsibility, you know, and she'll feel a bit of a responsibility, even though, of course, she's not responsible at all. So here you go. Here's Paul James. He's a right wing. He's English. He's a patriot. He wants all illegal wogs out of his country now. So adios. What a nice person. Do you know what? These are the sort of people that just they're disgusting. You're disgusting. And people like Andrew Tate, they encourage those kind of people. Not welcome in my chat. You're not welcome on my channel. Take your disgusting comments onto somebody else's channel There's loads of channels out there that are full of it. You go and talk to them, because you're not coming on my channel and doing it. So there you go. Okay, so where am I going now? So there's, what else did I want to show you? So of course the let me just, so Yvette Cooper, oh, she's talking now on Sky News. Let's have a look. See if we can catch what Yvette Cooper's saying.
This. But I think for today, the issue really is about Southport, and the issue is about the families who have been affected in this case, and all of us praying for the injured children and for the little children who have been lost.
I know we're running really tight on time, but I just want to quickly ask you, Home Secretary, is there anything else you can tell us about the perpetrator? For example, were they known to the authorities?
Well, Merseyside Police are leading this extremely important and serious criminal investigation. This was a horrific attack, and they need to be able to get on with that work, and they will provide us with updates. You'll understand that others should not be speculating or commenting in advance of those updates, and we really welcome the work of Merseyside Police. But it's also important that they pursue every single angle of inquiry. But I think at the same time, the police officers, alongside pursuing that criminal investigation, police officers are also members of the community. We've talked to first responders today, and some of the police officers who were there yesterday and who had to respond. They're also working in the community to support each other and to support.
So, of course, this is Yvette Cooper. She's the new Secretary of State. She just took over 3 weeks ago after the election. Now there's talk that the Prime Minister is going to go there. He should go there. I mean, this is like a massive thing. You know, I think really there's been nothing like this, as I say, since Dunblane, since the incident in Dunblane. And so the Prime Minister should go there and show some solidarity. And, you know, it's like you can't change what's happened. Those 2 girls are dead. Hopefully the other children will all pull through. That's all I'm praying for at the moment. And then the details of sort of what happened, who this guy actually is, will turn out. And unfortunately for that fucking idiot that was on earlier, seems like this guy's not an illegal wog. He's a legal wog. So where he thought he was going to, you know, he said, what was his comment? He wants all illegal WOGs out of the country now. Well, he wasn't illegal. He was born in Britain, so it's just such a pointless thing to say, because what you're going to do, just sort of get everybody out of the country who's even second generation immigrant. What you're going to do, you know, just the most, honest to God, that's the intelligence of these people.
The community in the face of something so awful happening.
So people have, people have been going and leaving. She won't stop. There's a guy. Tia, come on. Come on, come on, come here. Good girl, good girl. And there's there's a guy stood outside talking. He's probably a bit like that guy that was on here before. He's the right idiot, so she don't like him. So she's barking at him. So yeah, people have been going and putting.
I'm with mother and daughter Anita and Joanne, members of the local community who have come down here to.
I mean, the thing is, the community must be absolutely devastated. I think everybody is, because that could have been anybody's children. You know, it's the school holidays. People are sending. I bet there's a few people that have pulled their kids out of summer schools and things like that, because they'd be terrified, won't they, of anything happening to their kids. I mean, it's beyond belief. It's one of those things that's beyond belief, at a place where the children should have been having a great time. They should have been having fun, you know, singing Taylor Swift songs, etc., etc. And instead, you know, 2 children are dead and another 6 are in critical condition. So, you know, it's awful. Hi, Yvonne. So now I want to show you about Dunblane, because there's been nothing as bad ever as this. I think obviously this is why it's engendered such strong feelings in people. But, you know, the last thing that happened that was like this was in Dunblane in Scotland. And a lot of people maybe don't know about it because it was quite a long time ago. Let's have a look. This was the perpetrator. You know, evil lies in everyone. This guy was not an immigrant. Do you know, I just don't know why people just think there's only one type of person can ever do anything wrong. I'm sorry, but it's just crass. You know, all sorts of people do horrible things. And this guy, he was a local. He had a grudge against the school. He was a scoutmaster. You know, Thomas Hamilton just went into the local school. Let's have a look what he did. I've got an article up here somewhere. I've got an article up here somewhere. There it is. Shh. Anyway, so yeah, this happened in Dunblane in Scotland in 1996. That was the year my son was born. And I remember it as clear as day. I remember it was all over the TV, obviously. Now, Andy Murray, the tennis star, he was there that day, and he was at the school, and he had to hide under he remembers hiding under the desk. So most of you out there, whether you're from the UK or not, you'll know who Andy Murray is, the Wimbledon champion. Well, he's won a lot of tennis championships. He's just retiring this year. He's had a lot of, well, he's bobbing on a bit for a tennis player, but he's had a hip replacement, I think, at least one anyway. And, you know, a lot of issues. And at Wimbledon this year, unfortunately, didn't go well for him, did it? And he's going to, I think he's in the Olympics, just the doubles in the Olympics, but he pulled out of the singles. So Andy Murray, he was actually there on this day. So this was a match, and this changed the gun laws as well in the UK. It was very, you know, historic for that reason. So a gunman invaded a primary school in the small Scottish town of Dunblane, shot to death 16 children and their teacher. And this was a primary school. So these were little children. I mean, not that it makes it better if they were older, but, you know, they're literally innocent. You can't be more innocent than, you know, just little children, haven't done anything wrong to anybody. And he just went in, shot to death 16 of them and their teacher, and then turned the gun on himself. So the gunman, Thomas Hamilton, he lived in the town. On the day of the massacre, he drove into the school parking lot at about 9:30 in the morning. He cut the cables on a telephone pole and then entered the school carrying 4 handguns and 743 rounds of ammunition and wearing shooting earmuffs. He fired a couple of shots as he made his way to the school gym, where teacher Gwen Mayer had just taken her 29 primary 1 students, so that's equivalent to the American kindergarten, for their physical education class. He entered the gym and he immediately opened fire, wounding, gosh, where's that gone? Yeah, so immediately opened fire, wounding physical education teacher Eileen Harrold and teaching assistant Mary Blake, and injuring and killing several children. Harrold and Blake took shelter inside a cupboard in the gym, bringing as many children with them as they could, as Hamilton continued his fusillade. So, oh gosh, good job this guy didn't have a gun. When an adult and an older student tried to look inside the gym to find out what was going on, Hamilton fired towards them and then left the gym, firing towards the library cloakroom and into a mobile classroom, where the students lay on the floor at their teacher's instruction. Hamilton then returned to the gym, dropped the gun he had been using and chose another one, which he used to kill himself. The entire attack took place over a period of less than 5 minutes. I mean, this is what's incredible, isn't it? You know, how quick these events take place. So in less than 5 minutes, he caused all that damage, wreaked all that havoc. Anyway, the teacher and 15 children were killed outright, and another child died in the hospital. And a further 15 people, the vast majority of them children, were wounded. See, I think apart from this, I don't remember any incidents so against children. You know, this is it is really rare. So we have to remember, you know, just trying to fasten on to anything. It's very, very rare that children get injured like this. The last time, so 1996 is nearly 30 years ago, isn't it? So a motive for the massacre was never established. Hamilton had become an assistant Boy Scout leader at the age of 20, but he soon became under suspicion because of his behaviour towards boys. After further complaints, he was required to leave the Boy Scouts, which angered him. He repeatedly asked to be allowed to return, to no avail, and he wrote letters of protest to various government authorities claiming persecution. In the meantime, he became a gun collector. Now, you couldn't do it now in the UK, what he did then, but he organised several boys' clubs in which he taught shooting, gymnastics and sports. Though his clubs were initially popular and well attended, his reportedly strange behaviour, as well as his apparently paedophilic activities, eventually alienated club members and their parents, and the club shut down. Some reports also indicate that it had been turned down as a volunteer at Dunblane Primary School. So that could be a motive. Tennis star Andy Murray was a student at Dunblane when the slaughter took place, and he later said that he had attended Hamilton's boys' clubs as a child. My God. The thing is, people like Thomas Hamilton, like, you know, child lovers, they'll always revolve towards jobs that give them contact with children. You know, that's what they do, unfortunately. So it's hard to tell, isn't it? In the aftermath of the massacre, residents of Dunblane initiated the Snowdrop campaign, named for the spring flower that was in bloom at the time of the mass shooting, to seek changes in British gun laws. The campaign's petition gathered some 750,000 signatures, and a letter written by the mother of one of the children was printed in 2 national newspapers. And in 1997, February, Parliament responded by passing a law banning private ownership of handguns above 22 caliber. And in November 97, the ban was extended to all handguns. In addition, security requirements for gun clubs were expanded. Following the passage of these laws, the incidence of gun killings in the UK dropped significantly. Unfortunately, though, the incidence of stabbings has increased. You know, this is a real problem, isn't it? Gun crime at the moment in the UK is a real problem. Right, just let me put a couple of windows down. cards. So, as far as I know, we've not had any more updates. We've not had any more updates in the Southport stabbings, so I'm going to leave that behind for now. If any updates come through while I'm online, obviously, or even later when I'm offline, I'll be back online. So we're going to start to talk about Anita Rose now, which is, of course, a poor lady who was just walking her dog the other morning and something happened. I don't think it's clear exactly what happened to her yet. Just make sure everybody's okay. I think everybody, so you're all okay. You're all okay in chat, I think. So let's have a look at this poor lady. So this is Anita Rose. There's some photos of her. This is how this jacket of hers, this pink jacket, is missing. So they don't know where the pink jacket is. Here are some other photos of her, etc. Let's just have a look at where it's happened. So this is Brantham in the UK. So we can see it on this map. It's near Ipswich. It's in Suffolk, near Colchester, not too far from Clacton-on-Sea. It's not an area of the UK that I know very well. There's Cambridge, which I know we've got some chatters who live there. It's not a world away from London. It's sort of, you know, in that, I mean, it's not near London, but it's in the south, isn't it? Manchester, this is where I'm from. Of course, Southport is up here where near Liverpool, where the incident, the Southport stabbings have happened. But we're now going to Brantham, to this incident. This incident of this poor lady that's been murdered walking her dog. But as I say, full details, I don't think we know that well yet. I've got an article somewhere. Oh, yeah. Oh, where's it gone? Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. There it is. So here's a new photo. Why is that advert on there? This is a new photo that the police have released of her. Because before that, we only had the photo of her in the pink jacket walking her dog. So they've released this photo. And it says, police investigating the suspected murder of a woman who was found unconscious near a train line have released a new photo of her. Anita Rose, who's 57, took her Springer Spaniel for a walk in Brantham, Suffolk, at about 5 a.m. last Wednesday. So she's an early bird, or, you know, that's a bit like me. I tend to go out with the dogs, especially now in the summer, quite early. And there's not normally, sometimes I've gone out in the dark just because that's the only time it's cool in the summer. You know, there's nobody about, but do you know, you should be able to take your dog for a walk at 5, 6 in the morning without worrying, you know, that something's going to happen to you. Just disgusting that you can't, all these normal things, you can't take your kids to a Taylor Swift workshop. You can't go and walk your dog at 5 o'clock in the morning if you want to. No, what is going on? Anyway, she's a mother of 6. She was later taken to Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge with serious head injuries after being found by a member of the public at about 6:25 a.m. on a track off Rectory Lane, and she died on Sunday. Bless her, God bless her. So this is where she lives, in Palfrey Heights in Brantham. And she was found here, was she? So she'd walked, a fair way. This was probably a regular walk that she did with the dog every morning when the weather was okay. So of course the weather has been okay, hasn't it, in the UK these last couple of days, I think. So she's set off. She's got, gone on her normal walk, and then she was found here with these serious head injuries. So what I want to say to anybody who lives in that area, don't be going out walking your dogs, because the person who supposedly has done this, who has been arrested on suspicion of doing this, is free on bail. I mean, how does someone who's been arrested on suspicion of murder get bail? I just don't get it. I mean, am I missing something? Okay, if someone's been arrested for shoplifting or, I don't know, even assault, but murder, and they get released on bail. What's going on there? So officers who are urging local residents to remain vigilant have also released a map of the route she took. Now, I know everyone's innocent till they're proven guilty, but, surely that person, if they've arrested them on suspicion of murder, surely they're a threat to other people. Aren't they? Wouldn't they be a threat to others? Surely. Well, put it this way, if I lived there, I won't be taking my dog out anytime soon. So on Wednesday, the 31st of July, which is tomorrow, they're planning to do an anniversary check in the Rectory Lane area. Now, maybe they're not convinced that this guy who's been charged, I think he's been charged, arrested. So maybe they're not convinced it's him, but just seems weird to me that he's been let out. So on Saturday, a 45-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, and he was later rearrested on suspicion of murder. And that'll be because she died, I suppose. On the same day, a 37-year-old woman was also arrested on suspicion of handling stolen goods in connection with the incident, police said. And they've both been released on police bail until the 25th of October. Oh my God. I mean, is it just me, or am I missing something there? Does that just seem ridiculous to me? Well, does that, am I just the only person who thinks, how do you arrest someone on suspicion of murder and then put them on police bail until the 25th of October? So that's to be people in that village can't be walking their dogs until they find out whether this guy, because they do you see what, am I just missing something? I don't know. I must be missing something. I don't know. So I tell you what, this world is crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, this is Anita, and apparently this pink jacket that she's wearing there, they don't know where that is. But I think, like, the suspicion of handling stolen goods in connection with the incident, isn't that the phone? So has he attacked her for her phone? And then maybe not meant to kill her, but he's obviously really hit her pretty hard for her to be found unconscious and then later die. what was he doing out at 5 o'clock in the morning? Was he walking his dog, or was he looking for somebody? Was he specifically targeting this lady? You know, again, you know what it's like in the UK. We don't get all the facts about anything, do we? But let's see if I can find anything else. Let's see if I can find any other articles. Let's have a look at this in the Mirror. Oh, it won't let me go into it. Why? Why? Why won't it let me go into it? Oh, there you go. So, Anita was found lying on a track off Rectory Lane in Brantham, Suffolk at 6:25 a.m. last Wednesday. 5 mysteries surrounding dog walker Anita Rose's death, her missing jacket and her unharmed pet. That poor dog, I mean, I'm glad the dog was unharmed, but he's lost his owner. Apparently the dog was with her. Oh, I can't even go there with that because I just start crying. But the death of a dog walker after she was found seriously injured on a country path has left several key questions unanswered, including what happened to her pink jacket. Anita Rose, 57, was found lying on a track off Rectory Lane in Brantham, Suffolk at 6:25 last Wednesday, having suffered serious head injuries with her unharmed dog Bruce beside her. I wonder who's looking after Bruce at the moment. The victim was captured on a doorbell camera shortly after leaving her home at 5 a.m. and wearing a pink zip-up jacket, which was missing when she was found 90 minutes later, while an Apple iPhone was also taken. Miss Rose was treated by paramedics before being taken to Addenbrooke's Hospital, Cambridge, where she tragically died on Sunday morning. And detectives are now treating the death of the mum of 6 case as murder. Detective Superintendent Mike Brown said, "This is a very..." Oh, right, I'm just sorry, I just need to stop a moment. Some breaking news coming on Sky News now is that a third child has died in Southport. So we'll have a look at that at the end when I've gone through Anita's case. That case in Southport, it's just going to get worse and worse, isn't it? But we just keep praying. We just have to keep praying for the others. Oh my God. So that's 3 children now, unfortunately, have died. So, oh God. Oh my God. What this news that's coming out is just terrible. Anyway, so Detective Superintendent Mike Brown said this is a very serious incident following which Anita has now sadly died of her injuries. The family continued to be supported by specially trained police officers as part of the investigation. The investigation to establish the full circumstances surrounding the offence continues, as do enquiries to establish the cause of death. Although I can now confirm the scene has been lifted on Rectory Lane. So they're in that point where they're appealing for information from the public. And these are the 5 mysteries that apparently surround the case. The pet was unharmed. Apparently a member of the public reportedly found Miss Rose lying unconscious on a track near a sewage works and a railway line off Rectory Lane. She had serious head injuries, but her dog, Bruce, a Springer Spaniel, was unharmed. Detective Superintendent Brown said Miss Rose was local to the area, had a regular routine of getting up early in the morning and walking on the well-used and well-known path. He said she was initially found by a man cycling to work along the track who dialed 999 before a woman passerby stopped and also helped her. And the location where she was found is near the River Stour, where there are many tracks used by dog walkers. Is that her? That's an image of her off Facebook. Missing jacket. Miss Rose was captured on a doorbell camera shortly after leaving her home wearing a distinctive pink zip-up jacket, which was missing when she was found 90 minutes later. That's odd, isn't it? In an appeal made by police, they wanted to locate the item of clothing which they believe could hold a clue to what happened. The missing pink zip-up jacket is described as waterproof in material and believed to be from an outdoor clothing brand, possibly from Regatta, said police. Well, it's just come up now, the breaking news. A 9-year-old girl is the third child to die after the stabbing. We'll look at that at the end of the video. So, yeah, it's a very distinctive jacket. So, you know, if somebody's got that, people will notice it. You know, you would notice that jacket. There's no doubt about it. Missing iPhone. Detectives revealed that an iPhone was also taken along with the pink jacket at the scene where Miss Rose was found. Officers have also been able to locate and recover the missing mobile phone, an Apple iPhone. So it's the iPhone and the jacket are missing. So what is the role of the two people? Oops. Oh, there's some more photos of Miss Rose or Mrs. Rose. Don't know. Yeah, we don't know what the role of the two people who are arrested are. We don't know their names or details of their involvement. 45-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder on Saturday, and he was taken to, oh no, sorry, that was yesterday, it says, and he was taken to Martlesham Police Station, Police Investigation Centre for questioning, but he's been rearrested on suspicion of murder, and a 37-year-old woman from the Ipswich area was also arrested on suspicion of handling stolen goods. So that sounds to be something to do with the iPhone, doesn't it? In connection with the incident, and was taken again as well for questioning. They've been released on police bail with conditions to return 25th of October. So maybe the police don't think that that man actually murdered her. Maybe that's the reason. So there's poor Anita, rest in peace, Anita. You know, there's a face, 1 minute you're putting your selfies on Facebook, the next minute you're lying dying at the side of a railway track because some twonk has decided that they've got the right to take your life. So Miss Rose's family said in a statement issued by Suffolk Constabulary, our mum was well known and loved in the community. She was brutally taken from us devastatingly too early. We've been robbed of so much time with her. She wasn't just a mum of 6, she was a grandma to 13. Oh my God, so she's got 13 grandchildren. So that's 13 kids that have lost their grandma as well. A long-term partner, a mother-in-law, and a special friend to many. Someone somewhere must know something, and we urge them to come forward. We want to thank everyone for their love and support. All we ask is everyone to cherish their time with their family and loved ones. Yeah, do you know, it just shows you have to hug that person a little bit tighter. You just never know from one day to the next, do you? Even with not, you know, just you don't have to be going and doing anything dangerous to not be going home. You just have to be walking your dog or sending your kids to a bloody dance class. You know, you just have to make sure you always let your loved ones know that you love them, because you just never know what's going to happen. So they're looking for information. So again, I will keep you updated. Poor Anita, and prayers for her family as well. And I hope the dog's okay. Apparently somebody was saying the dog's with her partner. I presume this is her partner. I don't know. Long-term partner. Is this him? And hopefully he's looking after the dog. So, but you know, dogs, animals, they get traumatized by things like that. If that dog's seen something happen, it will be traumatized. Oh, dear me. So let's go to this news. Unfortunate news about coming from Southport. So we almost don't want to go. Hey, this idiot outside, honest to God, is just shouting at his dog. And so, of course, my dog's barking. She'd love to go out and give him a chomp. That's for sure. She hates him. But, you know, like he's shouting at, he lets his dogs running up and down the street doing whatever it wants to do. And then he starts shouting at it. And that's why she starts barking. There's so many twonks around, isn't there? Terrible twonks. So let's just go back now to sort of, almost don't want to, but of course it's important. Oh, he's still shouting at the dog. You can probably hear him. He's an idiot. So yeah, a third child has died following yesterday's attack on a Taylor Swift themed dance class in Southport. So the 3 children that have died are all young girls aged 6, 7 and 9 years old. Oh my God, it is just, honestly, there's never been anything like this. Well, as I say, except for the Dunblane thing. Just, let's have a look at if we've got the, yeah, there's the Taylor Swift, what she's had to say about it. She shared this message on Instagram. You know, so it just leaves you without words, doesn't it? This was a witness that we did look at this yesterday, but let's have another look.
One of my business colleagues is phoning me, you need to get out here now. And I went out and he literally was carrying a young girl covered in blood. He's covered in blood, trying to look after her, keep her alive. And then some of the neighbours were bringing others out, but some had already got out with another girl. And apparently this other girl had got these girls out. She'd got stabbed many times in the back and in the chest. But she was really critical. And one of the other neighbours was looking after her.
Now, just want to say that there are some photos circulating. I have seen those photos by some twonk on Twitter. One of the twonks that was saying that, oh, it was a migrant and, you know, just come over on the boat last year and all that rubbish. That's not true. He also shows what a lovely person he is, put a load of pictures up, unedited pictures. I don't know who took these pictures because I don't know who would think of sitting there and taking pictures of dying children on the street. But these girls were stabbed full of blood. You know, they're very graphic photos. And this guy, the one that was saying that was a migrant that had done it, who'd just come over on the boat, lived in a migrant hostel, he was sharing these photos all over Twitter. And some people had gone on there and said, look, get the photos off because this is somebody's children. You know, these girls. I reported it anyway, whether he's had to take them down or not. But I did put in a report to Twitter. But how do people get away with doing things like that? Now, I have those photos. I won't be showing those photos, I can assure you. Well, not on it. I may put blurry images over them or whatever, but the photos with blurry images covering up the girls so you can't see them, they are available on mainstream media. You know, they've been shown on mainstream media, but this guy was showing like the actual, you know, graphic picture where you could these little girls. Oh my God. I mean, it's like somewhat like I think it was him who said it's like somewhat off a horror film. It is like something off a horror film, except it's true.
They're on the floor. So I'm on the phone before I'd really seen all this for the police. You need to come now. You need to come now. Bring everybody. We want as many ambulances as you can get. I don't know how many girls were left in that building. He was still in there. And I thought, I'm just going to kill them all. You know, so it's like a nightmare. The biggest horrific thing you could ever witness in your life, seeing little kids like that. And the parents coming and crying and screaming, you know, because they're obviously time to pick them up just before lunch. I'm screaming down the phone, crying, they're dying here. We need you now. We need you now, these kids. They're bleeding to death. The police came, the ambulances come. There was loads, and then it just became a sea of people. But there were some of the guys that were helping were still helping. They were holding the bags for the paramedics with the drips on.
How long are they?
I'm saying 5 upwards. It's like a nightmare. You want to just save them. Do you know what I mean? I hope to God they're all right. And my heart goes out to all the parents of them kids. It's awful. One of my business colleagues is.
Okay, so sorry, it just feels like it's all bad news, isn't it? You know, so a third child has died, a third little girl has died. And the other bit of breaking news while I've been on is that, you know, another case that we were following, of course, the crossbow attacks in Bushey in London, Carol Hunt and her 2 daughters, one of which was, of course, the ex-girlfriend of the guy Kyle who killed them. Apparently Carol Hunt was stabbed to death, and the 2 daughters were killed by crossbow. And of course, that Kyle, I can't remember his surname, he went off to cemetery, didn't he, in Enfield, and tried to kill himself. But I haven't heard any updates on his condition. It took quite a while before they charged him with murder, because he was obviously too ill to charge. Anyway, he has been charged with murder. As far as I know, he's still in the hospital. It was quite severe injuries he gave himself. He tried to take his own life and failed, thankfully, because he needs to face justice. You know, it's not good enough that he gets to take himself away from this world and escape justice. You know, he needs to be held to account for what he did to those 3 women from the Hunt family. Anyway, so it's been the coroner has released that Carol Hunt, the mother, was killed by wounds. Tia. Okay. She's barking now because my son's just gone off to boxing, to the gym. So the mother Carol, she was killed by stab wounds, and the 2 daughters, one of which was Kyle's ex-girlfriend, who had the temerity, who had the cheek to finish with him. Oh my God, Andrew Tate would probably say, yeah, you shouldn't take cheek from your women. You know, he actually says that, doesn't he? Your women don't respect you. That's what Andrew Tate thinks, you know, that a woman belongs to you. And that's what Kyle thought. I wonder if let's have a look at a photo of him. So I don't like talking about him without showing them, because they deserve to be remembered as well. So let me just put that up. So there's been a lot of terrible incidents in the UK lately. I mean, really terrible. Like, you know, any incident where somebody is killed is terrible. Of course it is. They just seem to be so exceptionally brutal, don't they? So this is Carol, the mother. She's died of stab wounds. And Hannah and Louise died of crossbow wounds. Now, they were alive. They did try to save them, or certainly one of them at the scene. One of them had a crossbow in her chest, but she couldn't be saved. So, yeah. So she was found alive by officers in the doorway of her home with a crossbow bolt still in her chest. So it sounds like she was maybe coming home. Anyway, terrible. And then the poor father, the guy, John Hunt, who was some sort of a racing commentator for Sky News or some media outlet, he walked home after work to find them there, to find his wife dead and his 2 daughters, one, clinging to life. There's another how's he coping? How do you ever, recover from that? And again, now with these, the parents of these children, how do people recover? And not only that, the first responders, people, it's just trauma, all the trauma caused by one person, the real devil, evil person. Where do people think? Why do people think they have the right to do this to other people? Oh, dear me. Anyway. Hey, Laurie. Kyle the Canut, David. So, that's it. Gosh, it's been very depressing. I haven't even got anything cheerful to show you at the end. I'll try and maybe we should do something a bit more cheerful tonight in members only live. You members, let me know what you think. Do you want to talk about something more cheerful? Can we cope with any more trauma like this, So I think you're right, Pauline. I think there is a very Britain, things have always happened, like the Dunblane massacre happened, and that was 30 years ago. So it's not like nothing's ever happened. There's been the Hungerford massacre was another one. But just seems at the moment it's the violence. Everyone's so aggressive as well. This is what I was trying to say earlier. It doesn't help to be aggressive. And this aggressive rhetoric, it's like we see in America as well. It scares me because people are getting too emotional, too aggressive about things. There's a lot of hate being stirred up on Twitter, etc. I think, a lot of it is stirred up deliberately. It's like Tommy Robinson, as far as my son and a lot of young people. Thing is, some people fall for Andrew Tates and the Tommy Robinsons of this world, don't they? Some people fall for it, but some people don't. But the trouble is, a lot of people do fall for fake news. All that fake news that was going around Twitter yesterday, that's all. You think, who's creating that? Who's wanting people, wanting to stir up all this hate and animosity? It's almost deliberate, isn't it? So, it just makes you wonder who's behind that. Divide and rule. If you believe in, like an elite who runs countries or runs the world, they like to keep people divided. They like that because then you don't all rise up together. So you've got one protest over there, another protest over there. The men hate women, women hate men, Muslims hate Christians, Christians hate Muslims. For a ruling elite, that's better than everybody getting together and thinking, oh, hang on a minute, you're the ones that are like doing really well and we're not. Like, instead of people joining together, that's the oldest trick in the book. Tony Benn used to say, divide and rule. That's how you keep the people down. Put them against each other. Make them look at each other and they're not looking up at you then what you're doing. It's interesting, isn't it? Makes you wonder. He does, Seffi, but he does though. He does. I have watched the rally. I've watched the rally, and you know he doesn't live in England, don't you? You know he lives in Spain, and he travels on an Irish passport. You know, some people think that he's deliberately, you know, he's been paid to do these kind of things to stir up hate and everything. And he does. I've seen his rally. I've watched loads of his podcasts. He does stir up hate. I'm sorry, in my opinion, he definitely does. And then what he does, he gets on a plane and comes to Spain, not that far away from where I am, to be honest, where he is. Comes to Spain, gets away from it all. You know, he's not a patriot. He calls himself a patriot. He's not a patriot. And when Brexit happened, the first thing he did was get himself an Irish passport. Like Nigel Farage has got more than just a British passport. All these people, you know, they're literally making fun of people because they're there with their different, you know, Boris Johnson's dad got a French passport or an Italian passport or whatever. Boris Johnson will be the next one. You know, Nigel Farage's children have got other passports apart from British passport. All these people engendering hate, then they go off and do whatever they want. You know, they go off and, you know, get themselves a passport that's worth something, unlike the British passport now, which really, you know, is devalued because it doesn't the British passport used to be the best passport you could have. But not now, because it doesn't give you the same rights that European passports give you. So anyway, I'm going. It's all controversy, isn't it? Maybe we need to talk about something fluffy and nice and happy news later tonight. You members, you let me know, because but there's bound to be probably be more bad news coming out of the Southport stabbing. It's just heartbreaking to think that that's 3 children now. And so if it's 3, then there's still, because there were 6 in a critical condition. So if 1 more's died, there's still 5 of them in a critical condition. And still the 2 ladies, well, I presume they were ladies. Yeah, they did say women. The 2 women that tried to protect the children. There was a guy stabbed as well, who tried to protect the children. Actually, I saw that earlier, but I forgot to show it. But anyway, I think I've seen enough now of it. Okay, so take care. Try and spread love, not hate. That's all I'd say to everybody. You know, 2 wrongs never make a right either. That's the other thing. Anyway, try and enjoy the rest of your day or your afternoon or your evening. Let's hope there's some good news comes out, you know, that some of these children get stabilized. That's what I'm praying for anyway. So yeah, you all stay safe as well, and I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God always go with you. Thank you so much. Bye.